For all your TCG needs, make sure to check out sabatcg.com. What's poppin', everybody? This is Saber94. Today I want to talk about if Pokemon TCG is ever gonna relive or give us the chance to play some older formats. As much as I complain about Yu-Gi-Oh! And the dire need to make it easier for us to play older formats, the truth is they do give us some options at least. I mean, in Master Duel, they do these alternate formats and they're not necessarily old school, but they're alternate formats still that maybe are going to be vastly different depending on the rules and stuff. And they do have like the option for, every now and then they do like that GOAT format on Master Duel 2, which I've always missed, damn it all. And they did like 2014 as well, which I also missed. So they're doing some stuff. In real life, I think they've supported officially some GOAT format and what people call Edison, March 2010. And, there is some support even by the community for these old school formats in real life. Pokemon though, and not to just talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! One Piece too, there's going to be a rotation format, which I agree with. But they said they're going to do like an eternal format too, like the expanded format for Pokemon. It's going to be the expanded One Piece format. So that's going to exist as well, which means you can still use old school stuff. And I don't know if they're going to do like separate eras as well eventually, if the One Piece continues to be successful for many years to come. I can't speak much for Magic the Gathering, but I guess they got their own formats. What else? These are the only TCGs. Digimon I don't keep up. So the big comparison is between Yu-Gi-Oh! Mainly. Now, Pokemon doesn't really have that. You don't even got video games. With Yu-Gi-Oh! You also got like the video game way to play old school shit. Pokemon, it just really doesn't. Like if I want to play old school Yu-Gi-Oh! A specific format, even if I can't do it in real life, I got the Tag Force games, I got the GBA games, you have options. There's the stuff that I mentioned with Master Duel. There's some support for GOAT in real life. There's things you can do. For Pokemon though, I know that Jason Klasinski on his WordPress page, he sometimes puts up these events that are, by fans, by different stores, these opportunities to play old school, but that's really just in America. We don't really got anything else. Us in Europe and in other places is pretty difficult. We need a way to just be able to do this online through a video game or through a more reliable means. And that's the problem with Pokemon, because if they would want to do that, like even to just give the opportunity for you to play these events, it's the thing that with getting the cards that's going to be a big problem. Like, imagine trying to build a deck from Gen 3 or Gen 4 DP. You're going to need to collect a bunch of specific cards and it's going to be rough. Yu-Gi-Oh! You could say that it's the same thing if you want to build those old school decks in real life for Yu-Gi-Oh! But not really, because Yu-Gi-Oh! They reprint cards all the time. Even a lot of the old stuff, they just reprint them all the time. They've already have billions of reprints as it is. So it's kind of funny when people tell me that, Yu-Gi-Oh! It could never be with a rotation and the rotation would be bad for Yu-Gi-Oh! Where Yu-Gi-Oh! Could actually function very well with a rotation since they reprint stuff all of the time. Like they'd be around in the format and you just have an easy way to get the cards anyway. Like think about all the reprints that happened. The Light of Destruction reprint happened in Europe. Americans, you guys got the Retro Pack reprint. They did the 25th anniversary, like the first 4 sets, LOB through Pharaoh's Servant reprints, and Invasion of Chaos. They do all these special fancy reprint sets, like the, what do they call it, the quarter century, and, they put a bunch of stuff. I remember back in the day, it was like the Duelist Saga Booster Box. There's just reprints all the time. What's the new set that's going to come out for Yu-Gi-Oh! Battles of Legend. Not Battles of Armageddon. There's going to be another one of those coming out. Essentially, that's a reprint set too, if I'm not mistaken. Or it's going to reprint a lot of cards. So, Yu-Gi-Oh! It's easy with the reprints, but with Pokemon, they don't really do old school reprints almost ever. The XY evolutions, that's a notable one that comes to mind, but most of the cards, they were enhanced. They weren't direct reprints. The celebration set only gave us a couple of reprints. It's actually kind of crazy what a golden opportunity would be for them to make like a proper, let's say 100 card or maybe 80 card set with featured reprints from like the old school sets. Like imagine how crazy it would be. I'm pretty sure they know it and they just don't do it. They just want to drip feed it to us. Like maybe in a few years when it's going to be the 30th anniversary, they'll just do something like that again, like celebrations, but only just give us a couple of cards. I mean, you only had a couple of cards when you think about it when it comes to old school reprints. Like for Gen 3, they did Groudon, they did Gardevoir EX, Mew EX. DP, it was Luxray, Garchomp, Claydol. Heart Gold, it was just Donphan, I think. And, they got like the Charizard and Venusaur, Blastoise, and they got the Wizard stuff too. But just think about how amazing, how crazy it would have been if it was like an 80 card set that had a bunch of old school reprints. Like even from the Wizards era, I wouldn't mind. It'd go crazy. I mean, it'd sell out instantly. They would have all sorts of problems with stock. But I'd still want them to do that because, it doesn't look like they're ever going to do some kind of video game. Where you can play DP TCG or just put these cards on TCG Live or just something. There's Pocket right now. It's doing very well for them, so I'm pretty sure they don't care about old school Pokemon. It's really sad because we really don't have an easy way to play that shit. And even with all my criticisms with Yu-Gi-Oh!, there's more ways to just play alternate formats for Yu-Gi-Oh! Than it is for Pokemon. Pokemon is just Pocket, and I guess if you play the Game Boy Color game on the Nintendo Switch or 3DS, you can play that old school shit. But, the players in that are bad, and just the AI is bad in general. I mean, it's great for fun, but it's not really a good way to play old school Pokemon. At least in the Tag Force games, you have some competition. Like there's some good AI and duelists in those games. So if you want to play some kind of GX format, in Tag Force 2 or Tag Force 3, it'll still be solid. Pokemon doesn't have that though. That's the thing. So I don't really know where I'm going with this rant. I guess the conclusion is it'd be great if Pokemon does what Yu-Gi-Oh! Does and give us a reprint for a lot of old school stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, if you're one of those people that, let's say, got like sealed booster boxes in your possession for EX Power Keepers or something, and then Pokemon comes and reprints that shit, you'd lose your mind, and I wouldn't blame you. But I guess do it in a way where they won't fuck everyone over. Like with Yu-Gi-Oh! With the 25th reprints for the old ass sets. They weren't first edition. They got like the 25th stamp on, and there's obviously some differences. So even though the value did go down for the OG like Lob and those other sets, somewhat, they do retain their value. Like if you want to get the different shit, you can. So maybe if they do like some sort of new product, maybe with old school stuff, like the Celebration set that I've said, it would be pretty good. And that's all I got. I mean, it'd be a miracle if they programmed the cards in TCG Live, but it's never going to happen. I mean, they gave up on TCG Online, so I doubt they'll do it here. I mean, TCG Live is a bugfest as it is. There's a lot of stuff that pisses me off in terms of the game. Bugs and glitches and the way the game shuffles the cards in the hands it gives you is crazy. Compared to TCG Online at least. Is it possible for them to come out with a Nintendo Switch game that lets you play, old school Pokemon TCG? I just don't. Is there going to be enough of a market though? That's the thing. I run the polls on my channel too and just try and do some research. And I know that so many people that play the Pokemon TCG are new school kids. They don't give a shit about the older formats. When I talk about the older formats and how shit was better back in the day, they think I'm the crazy one. And I don't know, man. It's just, that's the thing. If a game already existed from back then, they could have just remade it for the Nintendo Switch like they're doing with the Game Boy Color game and older games. But because we don't have that, they got to come up with a new game, and I don't know if many people would give a fuck about that. I mean, I would. I don't know if enough other people would. So it's doubtful we're going to get something like that. So the best we can hope for is another celebration type set, I guess, to get stuff in real life. But then it's still not easy to play the game online. So anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. I just wanted to talk about it. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Would you be interested in some kind of video game that plays like Pokemon TCG from a different era? Like maybe if there was a story into it too. But that just makes it even more unlikely now. It would be pretty cool. But who knows if we're ever going to see something like that. It would have to be when Nintendo is feeling really bold and really creative and got nothing else to show for them to do something like that. That's it for the rant. Sub to the channel, leave a like, share the video with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time. What